Hello everybody. In this video we're gonna see how to work with variables, vector, list and matrix. Before then we will try to see some other stuff which is relating to working with R. First of all, we would like to know how to see help regarding to any topic. To do so, you can write down help and then inside the first bracket, anything what you want to see the help. Say in here I want to see the help in relation to the function, then I have to write down help and then function. So once if you run the code, you can uh, click Control Enter or you can click the run button in here. So once if you click the run button, it will run the function for run this one for you, and you will see the output into the screen down there in right hand side. So as you can see in the screen right hand side below, function. So relating to that topic, everything is in there. Another one is since R is working based on various kinds of library, so you need to know where is all of your library is located or you installed. To know that, you have to write down something like dot library path, and once if you run these things, it will tell you what is the location of your all installed library. As you can see in the screen below, left hand side in here, there are two location of the library. Now if you want to know how many library was installed in your computer, then you have to write down library then first bracket. Once if you run that function, it will open a screen for you into the coding screen, and you will see all the installed library in this computer. Okay, so here as you can see in the screen, there is a huge list of them. Now to see at this moment how which library actually is uploaded for you, to know that you have to write down search and then first bracket. Then if you run this function for you, you will see below down there which package is at this moment installed, I mean at this moment activated for you. Also another things we need to know is how to install a package in R, which you can write down something like install.package and the name of the library. Once after installing that package, you can verify it by using this line, say any of these package is installed or not. So once if you run that line, it will give you once if it is successfully installed or not. So in this machine, it installed that package successfully, so it is said that's true. But after you install it, you can use it by using mentioning the library, then the name of the cluster. This is how you can install any library after the installation process been done. Another way you will be able to know that how to uh, get the working directory. Working directory mean at this moment what is the location of this R scripting file. To know that, you can write down like get working directory. So once if you run this command, it will give you the current working directory. However, you can change the working directory based on your requirement. In that case, you have to write down like set working directory. So once if you run set working directory or anything, then and then it will give you the current, I mean destination working directory for you. Okay, so at this moment I will discuss something relating to the variables declaration and how to work on it. To the variable declaration and how to work on it. Say we declare a variable called bar name, and I want to put something, anything into that one. Say we want to put 15. So once if you run this line, you have to write down side control enter, then right hand side into the global environment, you will see that in that variable it will put that number or that value you want to store in. So at this moment there is a variable I declare called var1, and I put it 15 in that variable. So if you want to know, I mean, if you want to put just the name of that variable in here, it will give you what is the inside of that variable down there into the console screen. Similarly, you can write down also something like print. So if you want to know inside the value of the variable, you can write down something like that, and once if you control enter, then it will give you the same result. Similarly, I was trying to put another value into a variable called var2, which is you can see into the console screen there, and send into the var3 a logical value is true, which is true in there into the global environment. Into the var4, I was trying to put a complex number 9 plus 5i, and in var5 I was trying to put in a string variable. Once after you put all the variable into various value into the various variable, you may able to know the class name of that variable. Say what is the class name of any variable. Say variable 1 was a numeric class, variable 2 was also a numeric class, because by default R keep every fraction or integer number as a numeric. And then bar 3 was a logical, so it will give you the logical, and bar 4 was a complex, and it will give you a complex class. Bar 5 was a text, and it will give you a character, something like that. To convert one variable into another type, you have to write down as dot what type you want to convert. Say variable 1 was a numeric type and you want to put it into an integer type, it will give you as integer bar 1. Then if you run this line, it converted var 1 into a type of integer. So at this moment, if you check it is integer of this var, that means if you run this line, it will give you true because you converted it. Okay, so another thing is important for us to discuss today is called the vector. Vector is actually a declaration of sequence of value into the memory for you. To do so, you have to write down a something like C, and then what you want to allocate. Say at this moment I want to declare a variable called vector1, and to do and I want to put from 1 to 20 into that vector. So if I run this line, what will happen is into the memory it will declare a place for me called vector1, and then inside the vector it will put the value from 1 till 20. This is how we can declare a vector, but we have to remember that into the to declare a vector we have to have a symbol called C. Similarly, I want to declare a vector called V, and I want to put inside of there from 5 till 13. So if I run this line, it will put from 5 till 13, as you can see, into the global environment. And then if you can verify it from this way, like print V, and if you run that line, it will give you the value into the console screen, as you can see, from 5 till 13. This is how you can declare a vector. We can declare a vector from any number to another number, but we can increase them by any number or value we want to. Say we want to declare a value from 5 till 9, but we want to increase it by 0.4. So if you run this line, you will see from 5 till 9 was in their sequence, but every time it was increasing by 0.4. This is how you can do that. On the other hand, if you want to put various kinds of value into a vector, say 5 is a integer number or numeric number, and 2 is a logical. On the other hand, this is a text, but R will not able to do that. So what R will do is everything it will convert into a string. So if you run this line, it will convert into everything into a string, and then it will put into the variable called S, and it will be a vector of a string. So if you want to print that S, it will give you everything as a string, as you can see into the console screen below. So although true was a logical, but it converted it into a string because R was not able to do so. So what is the solution to store various value into a variable? There is a solution is called list, which we will declare, which we will discuss very soon. In this line, I add two variable var1 and var2 and put it into a vector called v2. So say as you know, var1 was we declared before 15 and var2 was 20.5. So if you want to run var2, what will give you is 15 and 20.5. As you can see, var1 value is 15 and var2 is at the 20.5. Also, we want to put into a value called vector 5, a vector 5 as a variable, and we want to put from bar 1 to bar 5. Bar 1, as you can see, from bar 1 to bar 5 into from the global environment. So if you run this line, so if you run this line in here, it will put everything into a vector called var5, and if you want to see that everything gonna be put into a variable var5 and everything gonna be converted into the string, since it is not able to put any logical or numeric number into a vector, so everything gonna be by default in string. In this example below there, as you can see, there is a way to convert to declare vector from the sequence, and say in here it will declare something from 1 to 5 and the last number gonna be 10.5. so if you run this line, it will put everything from 1 till 5 and then last number gonna be 10.5 into a vector. So this is how also we can declare a vector if you based on our requirements. In this line, I put various values into a vector called v1, and then into v2 I put some other values as v2. We can easily add the vector based on v1 and v2. So what it will do is, if the length is same, it will add 3 with 4, 8 with 11 and so on. But if you say want to see the result, say this result, if you can see the result, it will give you the results like that, say 3 with 4, 8 with 11, something like that. Similar way, vector gonna be possible to uh, sub, substitute from one value to another value, and it will give you the same kind of activities, which is like it will subtract from 3 to 4, from 3 to 4, and then 8 to 11. So which means if you can see the result in here, you can see the result. Similar way, we can be able to see the multiplication of two vectors, and then if you see value of these two vector, you can run this line and then it will give you the result. So sorry, at first let's run this one. So it will put this one, and then if you want to see the value, it will give you the value like this way. So it will give you, say, multiplication of 3 with 4 and then 8 with 11, something like that. List is a way to put various kinds of value into a same variable. Say it will you don't need to convert any variable from from string or anything. Say if you want to declare all 5 variable into a list called uh, my list, it will be as it is the data type. So if you want to see print my list, and the bar 1 will be as it is, bar 2 will be as it is, and bar 3 will be as it is. So the whole point is, if you want to get the variable in various as it is the data type, you have to use the list, not the vector. This is the main difference between list and vector. Here are some of other example relating to the list. In each way, it will not convert the data type into the vector, into the list. Now at this moment I will show you guys a small example of a matrix. To work with the matrix, we have a data of a vector from 2 till 7. So if you run this line, you will see there is a variable called data, and inside the data you will have the value from 2 till 7. To convert this data into a matrix, what you have to use the word matrix, and then inside the matrix you have to use a variable of data and how many row and how many columns. So if you run this line, there will be a matrix called M, and then inside that M, the value gonna be from 2 till 7, which is gonna be the column bind. So if you want to retrieve or print that matrix, you will see the matrix is like this way, which is column bind by default from 2 till 7. Column bind means it will fulfill the column first. That means first column 2, 3, and then 4, 5, and then 6, 7, something like that. And if you want to retrieve any value, say if you want to retrieve a value from 1, 3, that means first row three column. That means, and inside, to retrieve anything from the matrix, you have to define something like this. So as you can see in this screen, so at this moment it will retrieve the value of 6 because it is from first row and third column. So if you run this line, it will retrieve the value for you, as you can see, in 6. So until now, this was the discussion in relation to the data variable matrix and the list and so on. Those who are following this channel, try to subscribe it, and we will be with you guys with new and more and more videos. Until then, enjoy this video and goodbye. Thank you. Thanks for watching.